Greetings and salutation, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, Jeffrey. Good to see you as always on this it's officially brisk winter morning.
It is officially winter. I think I had mentioned before I got the tires done,
Yeah.
and thank goodness I did because I drove it home in what is the first snowstorm of our area.
Well, that's what we say this time of year. There's no storm like snowstorm, Jeff.
Right. So it was a good thing I got the tires done, and but that something happened while I was getting the tires done, and then it happened again at work this week. So I thought I'd bring it up.
So I'd like to hear this because you have not told me what this is yet, but I'm thinking animals, vegetables, meteorites from the sky, or maybe just stupid people, Jeff.
Uh, it's it's the last one.
Oh, okay.
So
how did I know?
I'm having the tires changed at Costco, and I think I've mentioned before I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
We're not plugging, we're just fans, and we're not.
Although if Costco would like to provide some remuneration or some support for this podcast from their massive corporate coffers, we would not say them nay.
We would not say nay. That is totally true. But so I'm having the tires done, and I have to use the restroom.
Yeah.
So I go into the restroom. Guess what's happening in one of the stalls?
Wait,
well, we know
at
what's
Costco?
happening.
At Costco?
Okay, that sounds a little lascivious. Okay, so nothing like that. Nothing.
I thought,
I
when
the wrong way.
you can't go to Costco without running into random sexual acts in a bathroom stall, Jeff.
Yeah,
what is our world? This world, Jeff. World.
That's my bad. That was my bad on the setup. So
you know my brain. You should have known.
I know. I should have known better. So I'm in the bathroom,
yeah,
and there's some jamoke in there in one of the stalls talking on his cell phone, loud enough that everybody in the whole bathroom can hear him. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe, I don't even do that at home.
Yeah.
And so then I'm at work the other day.
That's
the
weird.
restroom.
That's very strange. Yeah.
Guess who's in the stall on a phone? Some guy in the office. Is this a thing now that
Jeff,
we're so busy we're talking on the phone in public bathrooms?
Jeff, was it the same guy?
It was not the
same
guy.
Are you sure it wasn't the same guy?
I didn't see these individuals, but I could tell by their voices it was two different people.
I always look at the shoes, Jeff. Did you duck down and see? Okay, these are tassel loafers. Those were flip flops. Then you cannot tell me. You cannot conclusively tell me that the guy at Costco on the phone in the stall and the guy at work on the phone were not the same guy. You can't tell me that.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's a 100% chance that it wasn't the same individual.
Okay. Well, the individual, if you're listening to the sound of our voices, bathroom stall phone guy, maybe we'll have you on the podcast to respond to why in the hell do you need to talk on the phone so loud in the bathroom? And what were they talking about, Jeff? Was it details?
The Costco one I could tell was a business call, which made it even more.
Because he might have been doing his business.
Well, he was doing his business and doing business.
Okay, that's
and so I was thinking to myself, okay, what is the guy on the other end hearing while all this is going on? Because
man.
There's not to be too graphic, but I think there's like 3 urinals, there's 3 stalls, there's sinks going, there's hand air blower things going.
Well, the person on the other end of the phone was saying, "Is it thundering where you are?
Is it windy? Are you experiencing a
storm? Are there sweet steady trickles of water where you are? Because what I'm hearing,
have you ever done that? To me, that is just the most bizarre.
I don't do that. I don't like to talk on the phone I like to take public transportation here in Chicago occasionally to get some extra steps in and interface with humanity. And I don't like to talk on the phone around other people. I don't like to insert my business, as it were, into their lives.
Yeah, well, that is annoying when they're talking even in the stores, because then they're so preoccupied on the phone. Their cart's in the middle of the aisle, and these are bad neighbors. They're
bad neighbors. They're bad. Your next stall neighbor. We have the Next Door Neighbor podcast. But your next
stall neighbor.
Your next stall neighbor is on the phone. That's not a good neighbor. That's a bad neighbor, and we object.
Yeah, I was mortified, and then the guy at work that was a personal call.
Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I
it's
was
very personal. If you're on the phone in the stall, it's always a very personal call.
It's very personal. I was so I was just taken aback by that. I hadn't really run across that in the past in the actual restroom, and I don't know. I mean, you go to hotels and there's normally a phone in the bathroom, but I guess that's for an emergency.
Well, Jeff, when we were kids, this sort of thing never, ever happened. You'd never hear somebody on the cell phone when we were coming up 9, 10 years old. Nobody would have the cell phone in the bathroom stall. It just tell me if I'm wrong. It never, ever happened.
No, when we were coming up, there was one phone in the house, and it was normally either in the kitchen or in a central hallway, and then everybody fought to use the one phone.
You could tell if someone was in the bathroom back then because that long phone cord would be stretched. That long twirly phone cord would be stretched 30 feet across the kitchen into the bathroom, and I don't know. We just didn't talk
and then
on the
you
phone.
get all tangled up in it. So that would never happen. No. But I don't understand people. I mean, to me, that's just gross.
It's gross. And what if, how do you know he could have dropped his phone in the, it's gross for him too. And
it's just disrespectful for the person you're speaking to because they have to hear some of that. I mean, the phones today are pretty good where you can hear ambient noise. And, aside from everybody else in the bathroom hearing your business.
Public transportation, in stores, hearing people's, because what kind of, because you're completely involved in the conversation. You're not thinking about people around you. So who knows? Oh, that reminds me, Jillian, my social security number is 473192. Yeah, I write down this credit card number. I'm in the bathroom right now, but here, just write this down. You're not really thinking of what you're saying. So who knows what could come out of your mouth? Come out of whatever. Yeah. Come out of whatever, Jeff.
There's a lot of things coming out of all types of places.
You're not paying attention to the world, and you're a bad person. Your next door neighbor is a bad person.
Yeah, so that's, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's refrain. Well, I mean, I guess if you want to do it, great, but to me, it would just kind of be embarrassing, really.
You have earned the enmity and anger and disapproval of the fine people on the Right Next Door podcast.
Right. So, all right. Well, today, so I just had to bring that up because I was just so miffed by it. But today we actually have fun topics because it's great. It's Turkey Week.
Oh.
And so I've got some really good fun facts, and
You've already talked about turkeys in the bathroom on the phone. These dumb.
I know, probably a bad segue from bathroom to Turkey Day.
From jerky to turkey.
That's right. So what? Hey now. So today we've got some fun facts, and we'll talk possibly bean casserole recipes.
Wow.
Dirty deeds, triggered tirades, busybodies, and missing cats. They say tall fences make good neighbors, but bad neighbors make the Right Next Door podcast.
So, Darren, speaking of beans.
Yes. Like, we're just talking about the bathroom, the kind of thunderous noises that might be emitted from a public bathroom while you're on the telephone, and the person on the other end of the phone is hearing, is it, are there balloon animals being popped where you are? So.
But, so I don't know, Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
We all have likes and dislikes, right?
Yes,
but
of course
I think
you do.
Everybody must love the green bean casserole with the little onion things on top.
That's why those onion
soup.
That's why those onion things exist. Those onion funyuns or whatever they are, they only exist for Thanksgiving green bean casserole. That's the only reason they were put on the earth. And they're put on the earth. A whole batch of them was released in the 1920s. And because they never go bad, they never had to make any more. And
we're still eating
They're still eating the same onion crispy things to put on top
crispy and delicious. But take a wild guess how many green bean casseroles are made and served in these United States every year.
Oh, wow. I could not even guess. I'm thinking over 10,000.
40 million.
Wow.
That's a lot of beans, Campbell's mushroom soup, and little fried, crunchy, delicious onion things.
And you think about the Amazon rainforest, now it's being decimated and logged. What about the green beans, Jeff? What about the green beans that are being destroyed? The massive plantations of green beans that are just being wiped out just before Thanksgiving. Nobody thinks of the green beans. We think of the Amazon rainforest. What about the green beans, Jeff?
I've never thought about it that way, to be honest.
Mowed down, wiped out this time of year. Do they ever come back? Somehow we find a way to bring them back in time for Thanksgiving every year.
Right. And on December 1st, God forbid, if you want green beans, forget it.
Oh, man.
They're gone.
Yeah,
we ate them all.
That's like having turkey croquettes on December 1st. No, not going to happen.
Right. Not going to happen. The same thing. Now, I've never been a big, not a fan, but not a fan of the pumpkin pie.
Oh, wait a minute. Why do you hate America? Jeff, not a fan of pumpkin pie. Wait a minute. Wait. I thought I knew you.
I'm going to give you, hold on. I'm going to give you a very viable option.
Okay. Pecan pie? Pecan pie?
Well, who doesn't love pecan anything? Yeah. No, the sister to the pumpkin pie is sweet potato pie.
Oh.
And I love sweet potato pie because it's about, in my estimation, about 40 to 50% less pungent on the pumpkin.
Huh, yeah.
So same kind of flavors, same look.
Now, Jeff, all your people are from the southern states, right? So sweet potato pie is as natural. Eating a piece of sweet potato pie is as natural as breathing for all you Jeffrey people. All your people, Jeff, are from the sweet potato pie area, right?
Well, not really, because we're north of the Mason-Dixon line. And I'll tell you,
Yankees.
I stumbled on this. Yeah, that's right. The damn Yankees are eating the sweet potato pie. But I stumbled on this years ago at a local restaurant.
Yeah.
And they made these homemade sweet potato pies. And when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, that's kind of gross, sweet potato pie. And then they're like, oh, delicious.
Oh, yes.
And so I ordered a sweet potato pie, and then I've purchased them, ever since.
Sweet potato pie is terrific. It really is. And you're right. There's maybe a little less mouth-grabbing sweetness to it. Very, very good. I had a little thing that happened. I'm going to some friends for Thanksgiving and accepted the invitation. And lovely people, lovely people. But they decided that, this year, and this is actually after we all accepted the invitation, this year they're going to be healthy. So you know, no bread. We're cutting way down on sugar this year. So if you want candied yams, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. We're being very, very healthy. She didn't utter the K word. She didn't say, yeah, we're not having salad, we're having kale. We're having kale. She didn't do that. It wasn't that bad.
Oh boy.
But she did say we're gonna cut way back on sweets. She said we're GF. And I thought, what? We're GF? Oh,
gluten-free?
Gluten-free. No gluten.
No, so no stuffing, obviously.
Stuffing. No bread.
You don't have those little butt rolls? Those are delicious.
No butt rolls. No little butt-shaped rolls. No croissant.
What?
No croissant rolls.
I think you need to cancel. You can come to my house if you want. Just cancel. I
can't. They're lovely people, and it's really Thanksgiving is a lot about the people and a lot about the friendship and the families and the friends we meet along the way, Jeff. But I thought I was initially dismayed, and then I thought, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I could stand to not absorb oceans of calories on Thanksgiving Day. So what the hell?
Well, I'm in the same boat, but that's an exception day. While you're busy eating your tofu bird, I'll be eating a delicious smoked turkey.
You're right. There is
with all the trimmings.
There is one day of the year that you get an exception.
To your point, the calorie thing, there was something I read that the average person consumes, hang on, let's see if I can find it. It was like 3,500 calories. Just the Thanksgiving dinner, it's like 3,400 calories in one meal, which actually seems kind of low when you think about all the stuff you're consuming on Thanksgiving.
Well, it's kind of a potluck this Thanksgiving, so people started chiming in with things. Well, what if I brought? And so one person said they're bringing garlic mashed potatoes with all the butter, and the person said, there may be butter in this, and there were no
Did the host freak out, or no
dismissals? No freaking out.
Well, at least you got one one dish to eat while you're there. Yeah. We'll have to do a follow-up on this because that sounds you're in for.
Well, once you accept the invitation, now that's a key thing. We can ask our listeners, if you accept an invitation to a dinner party or to a Thanksgiving dinner, you're expecting all the Thanksgiving trimmings. Am I right?
You are correct, sir. And it's kind of dirty pool that you get an invite, you accept the invite, and then they're like, oh, and by the way, we're not having anything good to eat and not having any fun.
No turkey, no sweet potato pie, no pumpkin pie, no pecan pie, no cranberry relish fresh with the ridges from the can. That would be cruel and unusual and un-American, Jeff.
Did they say no cocktails?
You know what? These people are really lovely people. Like I said, there are going to be cocktails. I mean, come on.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, at least you got something. But wow, I don't know. Although we are doing something a little bit different this year because of the whole turkey thing shortage that we talked about earlier. I'm getting an already smoked turkey.
Oh.
So I only have to put it on the grill. Yeah. Put in my wood chips and heat that little bird up. I don't have to.
So it's going to be double smoked.
It'll be a double smoked turkey. I don't have to baste it with the champagne butter herb sauce this year. So I don't know. It's kind of a risk. We're gonna see how it turns out.
Wow, but, champagne butter herb sauce. That's usually what you have.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My lovely bride makes a mean bird, but it's a lot of work, man. She starts the oven at 0700, and then it's covered in a little blanket, and then that holds the butter and stuff. And then you're basting. So it's quite a bit of work. So hopefully this will and then we're also serving. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Pork roast, because everybody loves pork roast. So we're going to have.
Well, you're German, actually. Combo. I was talking about your southern forebears, but the Germans have pork.
Yeah, pork roast probably one of my all-time faves. Yeah. So we're gonna do a double for those that want the bird, for those that want the pork roast, or a combination thereof. It's like a surf and turf.
I always think to myself on Thanksgiving, why can't we have food like this more often during the year? I mean, I actually was joking about having turkey after December 1st, but some of these things are really delightful. Why can't you have the green bean casserole in July 17th or something,
And never, well, I will say the only, I think occasionally we have it around Easter time, at Easter, with the ham. Yeah. But, the other thing I brought up, because if you ever watch like any of the, like the Charles Dickens movies or anything around the holidays, they're always serving Christmas goose. Have you ever had a goose?
I think I have had a goose, and I was just bending over the drinking fountain. I was 9 years old, and it shoved my head into the ceramic there, and it was very so. I'm anti-goose in a general way, Jeff. It can be painful. You can cause surprise. It can lead to injury.
It sounds like you're describing a Grundy, not a goose.
Or a wedgie. An atomic wedgie.
An atomic wedgie. But I've only had duck, I think, once, and I wasn't into it.
You've only had duck once? I've had duck. Duck. These parts, if you live near a big city, you have crispy duck, you have Peking duck.
Yeah, too oily. It's like super oily, and I wasn't into it. So I'm guessing the goose is the same thing, but I'm kind of wondering when did we go from... When did we leave the goose? Like, when did goose fall out of favor? I don't know.
Young man, what day is it? Why, it's Christmas Day, sir. I want you to run down, get the biggest goose in the window and bring it here. Bring it here. It's Christmas. I'm not too late. It's Christmas. I can still give a big goose to the poor family with the crippled boy. Oh, this is wonderful. Wonderful indeed. And Scrooge is transformed.
Ebenezer is a new man.
He's a new man because all through goose transformation, a goose will transform you from an Ebenezer Scrooge to the happiest man on Christmas Day. Go get the goose, the biggest goose in the store window, little boy. And I've never even seen a goose in the store. I guess you can get one from the butcher, but well, these parts, they're different ethnic conclaves. You can get any animal you can take an animal from living creature to dead creature within minutes of your arrival at the store, and then there are people that get the live turkey and have it slaughtered, if not before their eyes, within a 24-hour period.
Pretty pretty quickly for sure. I don't. Take a wild guess how many pounds of turkey are consumed on Thanksgiving?
Well, you talked about green bean casserole. I'm thinking 4 million pounds of turkey.
736 million pounds of turkey.
Wow.
That's almost a number you can't even get your head around.
That would be on you think like a Titanic-sized boat.
Yeah, right.
Filled to the brim with turkey.
And here's another fun fact. Turkey does not really make you tired. The tryptophan in the meat doesn't really take effect because of all the amino acids present. It's more likely that the wine and beer you're drinking is making you sleepy.
Or maybe it's your relatives going on and on about their political grievances that make you want to lie down with your head underneath a mattress.
I have a no religion, no politics rule. You
really?
Talk about oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's.
Well, this is I
try to avoid those discussions anyway, as you know. But yeah.
Well, our podcast is a no politics zone, and it is not. This time of year, this is where it's a scary time. Typically, Thanksgiving dinner when the families gather around, and your crazy uncle with his far extreme political views, and your vegan sister-in-law with her. Yeah, so it's a fraught, difficult time. And so we extend thoughts of peace and strength to our listeners who are dealing with family dynamics, which can be challenging at this meal.
Right. That's why I enacted that rule, because it makes for a nice, calm, and if anything comes up, I squash it right away.
Yeah, you say
zip it, and then that's it. And then I'd rather argue about Bears Packers than
don't get us started. This part of the year, Bears Packers. Yeah, Coke, Pepsi, Mac, PC.
Yeah, I don't care what it is as long as it doesn't involve theology and any morsel of politics. So that tends to make for a calm and enjoyable Thanksgiving, which
I think my Thanksgiving gathering is all people of like political ilk. So yeah, that helps.
You're going to be in a Thanksgiving dinner where people are going to be whispering like, "Oh my God, there's no turkey."
No, there's going to be turkey.
What is the deal with this tofu bird? We're never coming back here. So it'll just be behind the scenes. It's not going to be, it won't be an argument. It'll just be very quietly discussed in the corners of the.
Or maybe you have to be very, very careful when you have those discussions. You don't want to insult your host. So what I recommend, if you want to whisper about your host, best thing to do is take your cell phone into the bathroom.
That's right.
And so if you're going to have your conversation, have it in the bathroom and be very, very quiet so other people cannot hear you. But no, we're going to have turkey. We're definitely going to have turkey. We're going to have many of the trimmings of the turkey feast. Just we're going to not be excessive about sugar and gluten. Gluten
is gluten. It's funny you mentioned the sugar, because I was trying to think before we started recording today. I'm like, I have not literally purchased a candy bar.
Oh,
because I'm not a, as you know, chocolate guy. And so I was trying to think. I'm like, I'm guessing like probably college was the last time I actually purchased a candy bar.
Well, a candy bar, but of course you do purchase that massive trove of chocolate and candy for the neighborhood kids around Halloween.
Halloween, right? So the only time that I eat candy is around Halloween.
It's rebound candy.
It's rebound, so I probably make up for it for a year's worth of not eating candy at consuming all the leftover treats. And then it's the same kind of thing with turkey, right? Because do you have turkey? I mean, I have turkey sandwich, but you never make a whole bird other than Thanksgiving, really.
Weirdly, I had a turkey breast that had been in the freezer long enough to have, I think it was old enough that it could actually have voted in a recent political election. It had been there long enough. And it was a turkey breast. It had been injected with who knows what kind of juicifying, non-aging ingredients. And so I did have some leftover turkey breast that had been sitting in the freezer for a very, very long time. But typically, yes, we have turkey. We have certainly turkey, like turkey drumstick. How about this? You wouldn't typically eat a turkey drumstick at any other time of the year except around Thanksgiving or if you go to a Ren fair.
Oh boy!
The Renaissance fair.
Don't get me
where you're eating the
started
turkey legs. You're eating with your hands, and they're the nerdy people in the Renaissance outfits, and yeah, that's when you eat a turkey leg.
I've never been. Have you gone to a Renaissance fair?
I have never been. I was on my way to a Renaissance fair, and the fates smiled on me. I actually got a flat tire on my car trying to go to the Renaissance fair. It's like someone looked down and said, "No, sir, you are not this nerdy. You don't have to go to the Ren Fair. Go thee home and eat no turkey legs with your hands."
Yeah, those seems I've seen commercials for them, and they just seem so weird and off. Although, truth be told, even like movies that have anything to do with the Renaissance period, I'm out.
If you're the kind of person who makes your own chainmail, there are people that knit their own chainmail, Jeff. That's a hobby for some people, and Godspeed. You have no other important things to do in your life but sitting in front of the TV knitting chainmail for your next Ren Fair.
I don't get it. I mean, I can't even watch like anything with knights or dragons or swords or castles. I'm out.
Who's really into that stuff. What was the big
HBO show? What was the HBO show that everybody loved?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I could not get into that. Like I tried to watch the pilot episode, and there's like a dragon or something. I'm like, okay, I'm out. I don't care what's going. I saw a dragon. I'm done.
Jeff, dragons.
I'm just not gonna do it. I can't. There's just something about. I don't know. I just don't dig that period. Now, if it's like
World War II, how about World War II or Civil War period? World War II.
I'm not really into World War II. It could be a really, really boring World War II movie or documentary. I'm going to watch it anyway.
You'll watch that anyway. You'd rather see World War II tanks than dragons. So yes. if you're gifting Jeff with a movie subscription, make sure it leans more heavily on the World War II area than on anything with broadswords or quarterstaffs or Little John or Robin Hood or chainmail.
Like Conan the Barbarian, never saw it.
Oh.
What was that other one? Like 500 or 300?
300.
Never saw it. I saw a sword. I'm like, okay, I'm out.
That might be, you have a problem with swords. I'm saying from a Freudian aspect, I'm saying there's something repressive in your brain. Something.
Well, no. Because pirate swords I like. If it's a pirate movie, pirates have swords. I like pirate movies. So I will watch pirate movies.
Okay. So
it's just something about that period. I don't know what it is.
Sword context is important.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm just not into it. So much like the Renaissance Fair would just absolutely. If I die and go to hell, there'll be,
there'll be minstrels. There'll be minstrel music in your version of hell.
Right.
Oh, mistress mine, where are you going? Oh, stay and hear your true love's calling. Okay.
Yeah, that would be bad news for me, for sure. So, wait, how did we even get on Renaissance Fair? How did that
because at Renaissance fairs, you eat with your hands.
The turkey legs.
And you have there are little kids walking around. Look, Mom, I can eat with my hands. I'm eating a turkey leg. That's the only other time you'd eat a turkey leg other than Thanksgiving. And yeah.
Yep, that's true. Are there any Thanksgiving side dishes that you don't dig?
I eat everything. I saw there was a side dish that I don't think I'll make this year for my gathering. It's Brussels sprouts with kimchi, which is this Korean relish made of pickled cabbage. And so I'm not going to bring that. No, there's no typical Thanksgiving dish that I don't like. I like it all, Jeff. Bring it all. And when you were a little kid, you saved up. You remember? You did not. I'm not going to eat anything all day long to save my stomach for Thanksgiving so I can eat as much as I possibly can. And then you learn that physiologically, if you don't eat, that makes your stomach shrink, actually. And so you can eat even less. And you're miserable because you wanted to eat so much and you have like 3 bites of turkey and you're done.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. I try to go into Thanksgiving going, okay, let's take reasonable portions.
Oh.
And then what always happens is you overeat, right? And then you're like, oh, I don't feel very good.
And then you fall asleep in front of the TV.
And then you're falling asleep, and you have no room for dessert, so your sweet potato pie has to be consumed like 2 hours later with the coffee.
So you're saying tryptophan in turkey, that's a complete myth?
Well, according to this article, it is. It's because it has something to do with the amino acids counteracting the tryptophan.
Well, I think tryptophan is a real thing. I think maybe it just doesn't have as much as people are saying it does. But if you had like half a turkey, that's a lot of tryptophan. And then, of course, you have other problems. You have other issues.
If you're Pavarotti and you ate 5 turkeys, then you're going to be sleepy.
If anybody's hearing this podcast, speaking of Pavarotti and overeating, if you want to see the worst movie ever made, it's a candidate for the worst movie ever made. It's called Yes, Giorgio, starring Luciano Pavarotti, where he plays this lover. And
yipes.
It's about Pavarotti eating a lot and spending a lot of time in bed with his paramour. So it's Luciano Pavarotti as this crazy, sex-crazed lover, and he goes into a room with his innamorata with food, and they just want to he wants them to keep bringing him food, and they make love for days and days and days.
That sounds ghastly.
It's ghastly. It's absolutely terrible.
Please tell me he's not naked in the film.
We are led to believe that he is naked frequently in the film, but we just we don't see it. But we are led to infer nakedness. And if you've seen Luciano Pavarotti, if for some of our younger listeners, famous opera star, known for being a hugely large person, and of course one of the greatest voices who's ever been on the planet, a tenor singer, and then he got erratic in his older age and didn't show up for concerts, and he was known for being kind of a no-show guy. But a beautiful voice, and there is Pavarotti singing in this movie, but his acting is god-awful, and the Luciano Pavarotti as a lover is a big part of the movie, and don't see it. It would not be good Thanksgiving fare. Like, you're all gathered around, well, what are we going to watch? We're going to watch what movie, what kind of good family-friendly movie are we going to watch? Now it's dinner time. Well, we played a few games. We have some coffee and dessert. Well, let's put it. Well, here's something on HBO. HBO Bad. HBO Bad has Yes, Giorgio.
HBO Bad.
Yes, Giorgio, starring Luciano. Well, let's give that a look. And then you're horrified, and your holiday is ruined, possibly forever.
Wow. Well, that might be a good motivator to not eat so much. If you watched it before Thanksgiving dinner, you'd be like, okay, I'm just going to have 2 beans, half a butt roll, and a slice of turkey. I'm stuffed. I can't possibly eat another.
I've never heard them called butt rolls.
You know what?
They're shaped like a butt. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's I nicknamed those butt rolls, I think, when I was a kid, because my grandma used to make them, my mom makes them, and now my wife makes them.
And you put the butter on, the butter slips into that little crevice.
Oh, they're delicious. And I just, as a little kid, I'm like, oh, butt rolls. What?
Yeah.
And then it just stuck from, I don't know, I was a wee lad when I came up with that. And then, like, my kids now say, are we having butt rolls? You know? So,
of course we have. Of course we are.
Of course. Why? How would we not? And you know what? The next day, if you have leftover butt rolls, that was some nice jelly, a little butter and jelly the next day. Oh my gosh. Fantastic continental breakfast the next morning.
That sounds fantastic. Maybe I will come to your house, Jeff. I mean,
it sounds like you're in for a rough go.
Yeah, we might have the Tofurkey just doesn't make it. No matter how many, for you vegetarians out there, we're on to you. No matter how much you try to form different plant-based things into meat, no, it's really a pork chop. Look at it. Isn't it pork chop shaped? No, we don't believe you. No, it's really bacon. No, it's really turkey. It's made out of tofu, but look, you see it's shaped like wing-like. No, we don't believe you. No, we're on to you. We're on to you, vegetarians. No matter how much you shape it to look like meat, it's not really meat.
It's not meat. And we share a dear friend who I tried my hardest to get into those, like, fake hamburgers, like the Impossible, and they're not bad.
No, but they're impossible to believe that they're real meat.
Yeah, it's impossible to believe that they're real meat. So they're healthy to eat, and you can eat them. But on burger night, normally Friday for me is burger night.
Yeah.
One of those fake burgers is never served on burger night. I have to have a real burger.
Good to know. And
I'll eat them. They're tasty.
Yeah.
And you can get them pretty close to kind of resembling the texture and but they just never really passed for me for
Go to a
real
good
burger.
place. Go to a good place that knows what they're doing with their hamburgers. And also hamburgers, you're going to get the French fries, and we don't have to pull out our own deep fryer. I don't own a deep fryer. I don't know if you do.
We used to, but it broke down. It actually, it's funny you say that. Is the average, am I mistaken, or is like if you go out to a restaurant, the average burger price is like 18 or 19 bucks now if you go to a regular restaurant?
The prices have come up, yeah. But that's getting political, Jeff. Be careful.
It is? Oh, well, I was just noticing because we went out to dinner earlier this week, and the burger, I think, was 18 bucks. It was delicious.
Yeah.
And, at the restaurant, they double fry. The reason the fries are so good when you go out is they double fry them. I watched this guy, I think his name is Jean-Pierre on YouTube.
Yeah.
The guy's fabulous. He's got 1 million.
Oh, yeah. I like that guy. I see that guy. He's great. He's so enthusiastic. Yeah.
He's very animated. He has great recipes. I think he's based out of Fort Lauderdale, if I'm not mistaken.
And he is very French.
He's very French, yeah. Yes. And that's where I learned about the double fried French fry, because I think the recipe was for like fish and chips.
Well, Jeff, it seems like we've established during this podcast that the key to making anything tastier is to do it twice. You need it double. You mean your turkey smoked and then double smoked?
I'm double smoking my turkey.
You need to double fry your fries. Maybe if you have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, you need to have bacon, lettuce, and tomato. I think just the key to everything is doubling up. You double up. Maybe it's a milkshake with double milk. Maybe it's a candy bar with double chocolate. The key is doubling up. If you're a huge opera star who has a lover, maybe you have double lovers. Well,
that's if you can see around his double chin.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Hey now.
Yeah. So the key to life, enjoying life. I'm certainly people are going to have double Thanksgivings. You have to have a Thanksgiving for your wife's family and your family. So that's a double Thanksgiving, and that's a better Thanksgiving, Jeff.
Right. And you really have a double, even the next day with leftovers, you're really having Thanksgiving part 2.
That's right.
And
the Right Next Door podcast, you have two hosts, not just one host. This would be if I was just talking to myself, Jeff, you were just talking to yourself, this would not be nearly as entertaining.
I think the rule of 2, we're on to something here.
I think we are.
It's the rule of 2. And I'm with you. 2 is always better than 1, because 1 is the loneliest number.
1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
I'm just going to start throwing out random.
2 can be the best of food. If you want the food better, it's a number 2.
That could be our new thing, because we did this on one other show, and I said something and you did the song. So it's just funny that you pick up on the lyrics immediately with my random references.
Life is a song cue, Jeff. Life is a song cue, and then you die. I know 8 bars of every song ever written, including songs that are popular at Ren fairs. I know a lot of
8 bars. You know 8 bars of every song written?
I know the words to 8 bars of every song ever written, except for anything past like 91.
That's kind of like my piano playing. I know the intro and or chorus of a bunch of songs, and then they're like, "Can you play the whole song?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. This is all I know."
Well, you can play the drums on any song.
Drums I can play on any song, yeah. But I wish I had the dexterity. It's one of the one thing that's always troubled me is I'm always jealous of really fabulous piano players, and I just, as crazy as this sounds from a drummer where I'm using both feet and both hands.
Yeah.
I have like the bass clef on a piano, my left hand. I just don't have the dexterity to run a piano bass line and play the melody. My brain just like melts down.
Jeff, the enemy to flexibility, you've clearly had too many Thanksgivings where you've eaten too much. So the flexibility has been ruined by eating too much food during the holidays. And so I think if you came to my Thanksgiving feast and started eating less, more vegetarian stuff, more kale salad, more Tofurkey, I think that flexibility would come back over time, Jeff. And so I think that would be an idea. I'm just throwing that out there. Start having non-traditional Thanksgivings, kale fritters, kale salad, kale marshmallow pie, and then you're going to feel better. You're going to be lean, mean, piano playing machine in no time.
All right, you might be onto something. So I'm going to take a pass this year.
Or maybe I'm on something. Maybe I'm actually on something.
Or you're on. I'll take it under advisement and maybe revisit that next Thanksgiving.
Okay, good to know. Well, everybody, if you're hearing this show before Thanksgiving, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes, enjoy the holidays, and we'll have to do next show. We'll clearly have to follow up to see how the meal went, because I'm already curious to see what's served and how it went.
I want to live vicariously through your Thanksgiving in the aftermath.
Yeah, while you're eating your tofurkey, you can just be like, Jeff is having a double smoked turkey. And sweet potato pie. Yummy.
Weeps softly into his microphone.
You have a neighbor who's driving you crazy. Tell us about it. RightNextdoorPodcast@gmail.com. The Right Next Door Podcast is an unscripted production of Eversharp Media, which takes a satirical look at local news coverage and social media. The material, views, and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the talent, guests, or the production company. Celebrity voices impersonated, including this one.